Smoke rose above the alien palace, the sky filled with fire and thunder. The planet Kael'Nara, home of the proud Zeppelin people, was under attack by a ruthless enemy force known as the Krovan. The alien queen, Velara, stood tall in her war chamber, her silver armor scratched and stained. She looked down at the burning city with narrowed eyes, knowing that her people were close to defeat. Inside the council hall, her generals argued. "We can't hold the northern wall," one shouted. "We must retreat," another cried. But Queen Velara didn't answer. Her mind was calm. She had sent a signal across the galaxy days ago, a final hope, a message to the humans, and they had answered. A deep humming shook the sky as a massive human warship entered the atmosphere, cutting through the black smoke like a blade. The Krovan turned their guns upward, but it was too late. Fire rained from above. The humans had arrived. At the front of the charge was Commander Cole, a human warrior known for fighting without fear. His ship landed straight in the war zone. He and his team jumped into the chaos with weapons ready and eyes sharp. Cole didn't hesitate. He moved like lightning, dodging Krovan blasts and giving orders with a calm voice. The Zeppelin soldiers saw him and felt something they hadn't felt in days. Hope. "Push forward," Cole shouted. "Take back the courtyard." With his help, the Zeppelin soldiers charged again. Cole fought side by side with them, not as a stranger, but as one of their own. His strength surprised even the Queen's royal guards. He carried a wounded Zeppelin fighter to safety, then returned to the front line. Queen Velara watched from her screen. She saw how the human moved, calculated, fierce, but protective. He was not here for glory. He was here to protect. After hours of fighting, the Krovan began to fall back. The final push came at sunset. Cole led the last wave, charging up the enemy tower where the Krovan commander waited. The two faced off in a brutal hand-to-hand fight. The Krovan was taller, stronger, but Cole was faster and smarter. He used his environment, his mind, and finally, his fists. The Krovan commander fell. Cheers rose in the distance. The war was over. That night, the halls of the palace were quiet. The fire had stopped, and the city was safe again. Cole stood in the Queen's grand chamber, dressed in light armor, tired but proud. Queen Velara entered, followed by guards and advisors. She stared at Cole for a long moment before speaking. "You fought for a world that was not your own," she said. "You saved my people without asking for reward." "I only did what was right," Cole answered, standing tall. The Queen smiled slightly. "That is rare, even among my own kind." She turned to the side and a figure stepped forward. A young woman, tall and graceful, with soft blue skin and eyes like moonlight. Her long silver hair flowed behind her robes. This was Princess Leora, daughter of the Queen and next ruler of Kael'Nara. "Her name is Leora," the Queen said. "She is my daughter." Cole looked at the princess, surprised. She looked back at him with quiet curiosity. "You may marry my daughter," the Queen said, her voice echoing through the room. Gasps came from the advisors. Even the guards stood frozen. Leora's eyes widened and Cole took a step back. "Your Majesty, I don't understand," he said. "You earned more than our thanks," she replied. "You earned our future." Cole didn't know what to say. He glanced at Leora again. She wasn't angry, but she wasn't smiling either. She studied him carefully. "I will not force you," Queen Velara added. "But I see what my people need. Someone who does not fight for power, but for peace." Cole lowered his head. "I am honored, but such a decision, shouldn't it be hers too?" The Queen raised an eyebrow. Then she looked at Leora. "Speak, my daughter." Leora stepped forward, her voice calm and clear. "I do not know you, human, but I saw your actions. I will not deny the bond that may be possible, but I will decide for myself. If you are willing, we will spend time together. Then I will make my choice. Cole nodded. That's fair. The Queen nodded. Then it is settled. You will remain here as our honored guest. A warrior, yes, but perhaps something more. As the meeting ended, Cole and Leora exchanged one last glance. The war was over, but something new had begun. Not another battle, not another war, but something far more complicated, a path to unity or something else. The next morning, the palace garden was quiet. Tall silver trees swayed gently in the wind, and small glowing birds fluttered above the flowers. Cole walked slowly on the stone path, his thoughts heavy. He had faced war, danger, even death. But now something new waited ahead. A future he didn't expect. He heard footsteps behind him. When he turned, it was Princess Leora. She wore a light blue robe, her long silver hair tied back. Her face showed no anger, but she didn't smile either. You walk early, she said. I needed air, Cole replied. Everything feels different now. Leora nodded. My people speak your name with respect, but I must speak with you without the noise of others. She motioned for him to follow her. They walked through the garden until they reached a quiet bench beside a small crystal pond. I do not wish to be given away like an object, Leora said softly, even if my mother believes it is a reward. Cole nodded. I understand. I didn't ask for this. I didn't fight for that reason. Leora looked at him carefully. Then why did you come? He thought for a moment. Because no one else answered your signal. I saw people in danger. It didn't matter what world they were from. There was silence. The wind rustled the leaves gently. That is a good answer, she finally said. But words are easy. Actions are truth. Cole smiled slightly. Then let me show you who I really am. Not just a warrior. Leora stood. Very well. We will spend time together. You will learn our ways, and I will learn yours. Then I will decide what comes next. Over the next few days, Cole was no longer just a soldier. He became a student. He joined the princess in the morning rituals of her people, offering water to the ancestors, learning the meaning of the ancient songs. Though he often made mistakes, Leora noticed he never gave up. He asked questions, listened carefully, and never mocked their traditions. One afternoon, they visited the city's heart, where people rebuilt their homes and markets. Children ran through the streets again, laughing. Many waved at Cole and called his name. You have become a symbol of peace, Leora said. My people trust you. But do you? He asked. Leora looked away. Not yet. But I do not dislike you. On the fourth night, a royal ceremony was held deep in the forest temple. It was a moonlight celebration to honor survival and new beginnings. Leora and Cole arrived together. Strange glowing vines lit the path. Music drifted in the air like soft wind. During the ceremony, each guest had to pass through a ring of living fire and offer something personal. When Cole stepped forward, many whispered, would a human know what to do? Cole removed a small metal tag from around his neck, the ID of a fallen teammate. He stepped through the fire, not flinching, and placed it on the altar. He gave his life saving a stranger, Cole said. He believed every life had worth no matter what planet they came from. Silence followed. Then soft whispers of respect filled the temple. Even the priestess bowed her head. Later that night, Leora sat beside him near a glowing stream. Her eyes were softer now. You have surprised me, she said. You understand more than I thought. Your people have shown me kindness too, he replied. Even if I don't always understand your ways. Leora took a slow breath. There is something else. Tomorrow, we leave the palace. Leave? He asked. Yes, she said. A journey across my world. You must see it, not just the beauty, but the struggle. If we are to stand together, you must see what I carry as heir to the throne. Cole nodded. Then I'm ready. The next day, 2 guards and a royal pilot joined them as they flew toward the outer lands. Places, still damaged by war. Villages had no power. Crops had been burned. Cole helped carry supplies from the ship to the people. He listened to their stories. He fixed small machines using his human tools. In one village, a group of wild beasts attacked the supply carts. The Zeppelin guards were caught off guard. One beast lunged toward a child, but Cole jumped in front of it, shield raised. The beast struck hard, but Cole held his ground. He pushed back using only a metal rod and quick thinking. With the help of Leora's guard, they drove the creatures away. The villagers cheered. Leora ran to him. "You are hurt," she said, pointing to his scratched arm. "I've had worse," he said with a grin. She shook her head but smiled. For the first time, her smile was real. That night, they sat by a campfire under a dark red sky. The stars looked different here. Leora handed him a cup of warm herbal drink. "You are not like the others," she said. "I've been told that before," Cole replied. She looked into the fire. "I don't know if I will say yes, but I know this. You are not just a hero. You are a good man." Cole said nothing. He looked at her and nodded slowly. In that quiet moment, the wind carried the sound of laughter from the villagers behind them. Peace, at least for now, had found a place here. The stars above the alien world shined bright, but danger was never far. After days of helping villages, Cole and Princess Leora had earned the trust of many. People smiled when they saw them. Children followed them with curious eyes. But not everyone was happy with this growing bond. Far from the firelight, a shadowy figure stood in the trees. His name was Lord Senkar, a high-ranking noble from the Queen's court. He had always dreamed of marrying Leora himself, not for love, but for power. Watching her laugh beside a human made his anger burn. "She was meant for royalty, not a low-born warrior," he whispered. Senkar sent a signal to his private soldiers hiding in the mountains. "Prepare the trap. Tonight we strike." The next morning, Cole woke early. He stood at the edge of the village watching the sun rise. Leora joined him holding 2 cups of warm fruit tea. "You wake early for someone who sleeps late," she teased. Cole smiled and took the cup. "Habit of a soldier. Always expect trouble." She looked at him for a moment. "Do you always think danger is near?" He nodded. "Because sometimes it is." That afternoon, their ship prepared for the journey back to the palace. The Queen had called them to attend a peace ceremony, where leaders from other alien worlds would visit. It would be the first time Leora and Cole would appear together in front of the galaxy. As they packed supplies, the ground suddenly shook. A loud boom echoed through the air. The sky turned dark as smoke rose from the nearby hills. "They've set fire to the forest," one of the guards yelled. A second explosion hit their landing zone. The ship was damaged. Armed fighters wearing no official marks charged from the trees. "Protect the princess," a guard shouted. Cole didn't hesitate. He grabbed his weapon and stood in front of Leora. "We're under attack," he said quickly. "They're not Krovan," Leora whispered, looking at the attackers. "These are Zeppelin." "Your own people?" Cole asked, shocked. "Not my people," she said. "These men follow someone else." The fight was fast and messy. Cole led the defense using clever tricks and strong teamwork. Though outnumbered, they held their ground. But during the confusion, one of the attackers managed to grab Leora and pull her toward a transport craft hidden behind the trees. "Leora!" Cole shouted. Without thinking, he ran through fire and smoke, diving into the transport just as the doors closed. Inside, he fought off 2 soldiers with his fists. The ship shook as it lifted off the ground. Cole reached the controls, pressing buttons wildly. "I don't know how this thing works," he shouted. Leora quickly slid into the co-pilot seat. "I do." Together, they struggled to control the craft. The ship twisted through the air, dodging trees and rocky hills. "Hold on," she yelled. They managed to crash land in a deep canyon, away from the battle, but also from help. Hours passed. The sun began to set. Leora wrapped a cloth around Cole's arm, where he had been cut during the fight. "You shouldn't have followed me into that ship," she said, her voice quiet. "I couldn't let them take you," he answered. "Not after everything we've been through." She looked at him, her eyes soft now. You've risked your life for me more than once. I'd do it again, Cole replied. They built a small fire and rested beside a large rock wall. The stars above were silent witnesses. Do you know why someone would attack us? He asked. Leora looked into the fire. Some in the court don't want peace with Earth, and they fear my choice. If I choose a human, it breaks old rules. Cole nodded. They're afraid of change. Yes, she said, but maybe change is what we need. The next morning, a rescue team from the palace arrived. A tracking device in Leora's bracelet had sent their location. The queen welcomed them both with open arms. I have been told everything, Queen Valara said to Cole, and I am deeply grateful. Cole bowed. It wasn't just me. Your daughter saved us both. The queen looked at Leora. And what is your decision now? Leora stood tall. I still need time, but I know this. Cole has proven his loyalty, not with words, but with action. That night, before the peace ceremony, Cole stood at the balcony of the palace. Leora joined him, dressed in royal clothes, her hair braided with crystal beads. You look different, he said with a smile. She smiled back. So do you. More like someone meant for more than war. They looked out over the shining city, where guests from other worlds arrived in glowing ships. I will speak to the galaxy tonight, Leora said. And I will speak the truth. About you. About us. And about a new beginning. Cole took a deep breath. Then I'll stand beside you. The grand hall of Earth's global council was vast and cold. High ceilings, glass walls, and rows of seats stretched across the room. At the front sat the council leaders, humans of many backgrounds, all serious and tense. They had gathered to discuss something unheard of before, a human warrior's bond with an alien princess. Cole stood with his hands behind his back, feeling the weight of many eyes. Beside him was Princess Leora, her pale blue skin shining under the soft lights, her silver hair carefully braided. She looked calm, but inside she knew this was more than a simple meeting. The council speaker, an older man with sharp eyes, began. Commander Cole, Princess Leora, you come before us with a union that challenges traditions on both our worlds. We must hear your reasons. Cole stepped forward. I fought to save the Zevlin people because it was right. I did not expect a reward like this, but after spending time with Princess Leora, I see that our bond could bring more than peace. It could bring understanding. A woman council member raised her hand. But, Commander, many fear this marriage could be a political tool. How do we know it is true? How can you prove this bond is genuine? Leora took a deep breath. I speak for myself. My choice is my own. I do not marry because of politics. I marry because I believe in the future we can build. Together. Some members nodded, impressed by her honesty. Others remained skeptical. After hours of questions and debates, the council turned to the people watching outside on giant screens. News reporters had broadcasted clips of Cole and Leora helping villages, surviving attacks, and standing strong. A public vote began. Millions of humans voted to accept or reject the union. As results streamed in, hope grew. The council speaker finally spoke again. The people have spoken. They see this union as a step toward peace. Therefore, we approve the marriage under one condition. Your bond must symbolize lasting peace, not a temporary alliance. Leora nodded solemnly. I understand, and so does Cole. Returning to the palace, Leora found her mother waiting. You have done well, Queen Valara said, eyes shining with pride. You have faced the eyes of two worlds and stood true. Cole bowed to the queen. Your Majesty, I will honor this bond with all my heart. The queen smiled. Then prepare. The ceremony will mark the start of a new era. But remember, challenges remain. Not all will welcome change. Days later, the palace buzzed with activity. Delegates from Earth, Zevlin nobles, and other allied worlds arrived. The grand hall was decorated with symbols from many cultures. Flowers, metals, and glowing stones. Leora stood before a mirror, her dress shimmering like starlight. Cole adjusted his robes, a mix of earth fabric and Zeppelin patterns. The ceremony began under the watchful eyes of the queen and elders. Vows were spoken in both languages, promises of loyalty, respect, and unity. When the queen placed a blessing stone on their joined hands, a sacred Zeppelin symbol, the hall filled with light and soft music. Cole looked at Leora, seeing not just a princess but a partner, a friend, and the future. As they sealed their union with a kiss, ships outside arranged lights in patterns of peace. The crowd cheered and a new chapter began. Later, on a quiet balcony, Cole and Leora looked at the stars above. The weight of what they had done settled in. "Do you think the others will accept this?" Cole asked. Leora smiled softly. "Some will. Some won't. But love is stronger than fear." He took her hand. "Together, we can change everything." She nodded. "For our people, for the galaxy." The night was calm, but the future was bright. The day of the wedding dawned bright and clear. Light filtered softly through the tall windows of the palace. Outside, the streets of Kael'nara were alive with celebration. Flags flew high, and people from many worlds gathered to witness a moment that would change history. Cole stood in his ceremonial robes, feeling both nervous and proud. His hands shook slightly as he adjusted the heavy fabric, but his eyes were steady. Today he was not just a warrior or a guest. He was to become a husband to Princess Leora, the daughter of Queen Valara. Leora appeared in the grand hall, wearing a gown woven with threads that seemed to catch the light like stars. Her silver hair was braided with delicate crystals that sparkled softly. She looked calm and radiant. When her eyes met Cole's, a gentle smile touched her lips. The hall was filled with beings from many planets, humans, Zeppelin, and others. The air buzzed with excitement and hope. Queen Valara stood at the front, her presence commanding respect and warmth at once. "Today," the queen began, "we celebrate more than the union of two souls. We celebrate the joining of worlds. The courage of one man saved my people. The strength of one woman chose a path of peace. Together they will lead us into a new era." The ceremony began with ancient rites. Leora and Cole stepped forward, each speaking vows in their own languages, their voices clear and strong. Cole promised to protect and respect Leora's world, to honor her people and to share his own. Leora vowed to stand beside Cole, to learn his ways and to work for peace between their peoples. When the queen placed the sacred blessing stone on their joined hands, a soft light spread through the hall. It was said the stone carried the hopes and dreams of all Zeppelin ancestors, blessing those who would build a better future. As Cole and Leora sealed their vows with a kiss, the crowd erupted in cheers. Outside, ships flew overhead, casting brilliant patterns of light across the sky, symbols of unity and hope visible to all. After the ceremony, Cole and Leora stood together on a balcony overlooking the city. Below, people danced and sang, their joy ringing out across the streets. "It feels like a dream," Cole said quietly. "All this, and I never imagined I would be part of it." Leora smiled and took his hand. "You have earned your place here, Cole. Not because of a reward, but because you are worthy." He squeezed her hand gently. "You were never just a reward to me, Leora. You are everything." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "And you are my hope." In the days that followed, Cole began to learn more about Zeppelin culture and traditions. He met with leaders and scholars, sharing stories about Earth and listening to theirs. Together, he and Leora worked to build bridges between their worlds. They traveled to Earth, where Leora saw cities filled with life and energy, while Cole showed her the stars that had guided humanity. Each step they took together deepened their bond, and with it the trust between their peoples. But challenges remained. Some questioned the marriage, fearing the changes it brought. Yet seeing Cole and Leora together, strong, kind, and united, softened even the hardest hearts. Leaders from other planets began to send envoys, interested in the peace that had grown between Earth and Kael'nara. Talks of alliances and shared Knowledge began to bloom like flowers in spring. One evening, as they watched the sun set from the palace garden, Leora turned to Cole. "Do you ever regret it, choosing this path?" Cole shook his head. "No. The path is not always easy, but with you it is worth every step." She smiled. "We will face whatever comes together." He pulled her close. Together. The story of a human warrior who saved an alien world and married a princess became legend. Not because of battles or glory, but because it showed what was possible when two worlds chose peace over fear. Their union was a symbol, a promise that even in the vastness of space, hope could be found and that love could build bridges where none seemed possible.